Hello and welcome. I am Scarverlock, and this is Satisfactory Early Access Update 3. And as you can see, I have been busy, and we are making screws and rods and iron plates at our factory. And I've also used a Fix-It coupon to get this nice mug of coffee. Take a sip. This comes from the Fix-It shop. It was only one coupon, so I figured, what the heck, may as well get it. And we are rolling. I have more screws to do from over here. I just wanted to get everything started, and let me take you on a little bit of a mini tour, and I'll show you how this is all going to work. So these are our screws and the rods. And so the way this works, over here in the distance there, we are making metal plates. Over here and on this side, we are making rods. So I decided to bring some of the rods over this way. So we have our iron ingots coming in over here. And they are going to both sides. There are 8 constructors here and 8 constructors here, all making rods full time. And then the rods that are being made by these guys here, wrap around and they come over this way, out the back here. Right, they come out this side right along what's going to be the outer edge of the building. I mean, this is it, guys. This is the at least further down here, this is the edge of the building, although by here we're going to be moving out. You can see how much further out the building will go. And then the rods come along this way, and they come down this 120 Mark II belt. And in the future, they'll be able to join the other rods, but right now, the 220 Mark II belts are going at full speed, so we have them going side by side. So these constructors are putting out rods over here, and you can see it's already like stopped because they've almost filled up the containers. So then we have the 2 rods trails coming into these sets of 4 containers each. So all 4 of these containers are full, guys. If I pull some out, then that'll start the conveyor belt going again. These rods are getting sent down this way into this container here, right down this way into this container here, and then coming out at 120, and this is moving them down this way. Take our cup of coffee and take a sip. And these rods are coming out here, and they're going into this array of splitters. And I started on this side. This side is pretty much done. And this side I just have to add to it, and then we make screws. So if we come over here, we come out here, and now I'm using stacked conveyors. So what's happening is 120 rods, so 240 rods are being made, 120 by that array of 8, 120 by this array. One set of rods is just going into the containers for now. The other set is coming out at the same pace of 120, so this is 8 constructors worth of rods. They're being spit out here, right? They're being spit out here, coming out at 120, and then they are getting split into 12 constructors. Each constructor uses 15. Each constructor uses 10 rods and puts out 40 screws. So if you do the math on that, we're putting out 480 screws a minute, but we can only transport 120 a minute. So we're going to need 4 stacks of screws to transport them all at once, right? So what I have going on up here is there are 4 rows of 2 containers each that are making the screws. And so if you come up here, I've really worked out the way to get up here. Each one of these is going to be taking screws. So 2 sets are already being done. This one just started. And then these 2 sets are also going to be done, right? And all I have to do is just connect these up to this side and connect them over to this side here to our stacked conveyors, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and start that. What's going on? Why am I not? There we go. Nope. 9. Here we go. So, let's see. So this one should be right here. And then right here, so we get a nice 90-degree turn. And then we can come back here. And now, we don't really need it to be that high all the way through. So I think we're going to start raising it here. And then here, we can basically make this too high. 1, 2, this way. And then flip this. 1, 2. So my thinking on this, these need to be 120s. My thinking on this is to have this gradually go up to the level that it's going to be when we get it here. So we don't really need it to be that high. So let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. That's a continuous slope. I like that. It's nice and clean. And then it will flatten out here. And then we'll have it just turn like that. And I need reinforced plates, don't I? Alright, and so then this is going to come across here, and these guys are already set up so that they will be going into these containers. And then over here, on this side, these things are already powered, so we just need to connect these up. And then we need to create the array of mergers that I have on the other side. And I'll show you that. I'm not going to build it live with you because I don't think there's any need for that, but I'll show you how it works on the other side, and then I will pause it while I go get some more reinforced plates, which I might have to go all the way back to the base for one more time. But now that I'm making all these screws, and I have so many plates that I'm also making, I'm going to start being able to make the reinforced plates right here at our factory. And that is a good thing. Okay, so these guys are ready to go. I will be back with reinforced plates in a minute. See you on the flip side. Okay guys, we are back. I've got a few more reinforced plates. Not as many as I might need. Hopefully it's enough. We have our 120s coming back from here. I've hooked up the conveyor belts for the screws. And I did want to show you a little bit about like how I work this out. So this is the same as on the other side. These three constructors are coming down to mergers that are on the ground floor. Each one's doing 40 screws, so this comes down at a speed of 60, which is fine. Once it merges here, there's going to be 80, so we need to do the Mark II belt, right? And then I'm going to have to get the Mark II belt up, which is going to be a bit of a problem, so let's see. Oh wait, I only have to go up one. Let's see, can we do that? Yeah, we can do that. And then we wrap it around. So this array is done, right? But we also have to do the higher guys, right? So this group of guys is coming in. They also are going to come out at 120. We can't join them or it's going to be too slow. So the way I do this is I put 2 of these conveyor poles, one on either side of the merger, right? And here I've got the mergers stacked. I'm not going to leave them this way because I don't like the way that looks, but I use it to find the edge, right? And so then once I've got the edge of these two, I can take them down, And then what this looks like is it's supported by the merger is supported by the poles, so it's not just hanging in midair, because I don't like the way it looks when it's hanging in midair. Right? I don't like that. I feel like it needs to be supported. So, I'll connect this up and then I'll go make it pretty. Hopefully we have just enough here. We might not. Let's see. There we go. And now we can hook up these conveyor belts like this. This is all Mark IIs. No, wrong way. It likes to connect to the back for whatever reason. It's almost like they don't have the nearest neighbor function correct on this, and it always defaults to connecting to the back one for whatever reason. So now we have all these guys going. And it's going to take a little while to clear it out because this was all backed up, so it's moving out at a high rate of speed here. Because this is 40, right? And then this is 40, but these guys are already producing stuff, right? So they're backed up. So if we just give it time, eventually it will clear out. Because this thing is going to get emptied out, I believe. Maybe not. It's got a lot of them. So anyway, we're already choking up with the that's a regular conveyor belt. That's correct. So we're already kind of choking up with the screws, and so now the screws are coming this way. And if we come and look over here, guys, you can see this. I will climb the conveyor pole. We come and look over here. We are bringing in four belts worth of 120 screws a minute into these containers. So now we can start thinking about making our assemblers and getting the reinforced plates and the rotors and finally the modular frames made here at the base. And we're going to use the rods, the screws, and the iron plates from this whole area here to create the assemblers. The assemblers are going to be on the floor above us. So I was going to build them here, but I said, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead, and we have all these things here. I'm going to just build some walls out, maybe over here. This isn't the edge of the base yet. There's still more area. I got some spitters down there. But I think I'm going to just build some walls out and go up a floor and build a nice flat area up there, and then we will make our whatchamacallit, our assemblers up there. And you know, guys, this nice smooth slope is making me think I might have a way to do conveyor belts going up. I'm going to go over here and test it, and I will bring you back if I am successful. Well, I'll bring it back either way, and we'll see if I was successful. Well, guys, my idea didn't work, so the original way I had this was like this, where you can see this hump. I thought maybe if I increased it from 1 to 2 to 3, it would work better, but it does not. So, and I think the problem is this curves down at the end. And so no matter what you do to it, you're going to get this awkward sort of jump that's just not going to be straight. So I'm still not sure what to do about bringing the conveyor belts up really long inclines and making it not look hideously ugly. Um, I checked. One of the guys that does awesome designs is Papa Snoozy. I thought maybe he may have done something like that, and he does really cool sky bridges. I was watching his videos, got some really cool ideas for sky bridges, but he doesn't seem to change levels a lot with um, really graceful methods, as far as I can tell. You know, he brings stuff up and down with lifts, short distances, but he doesn't seem to work at these kinds of elevations like that, at least not that I've seen. So, I mean, one thing he probably would do is put a tower next to the ramp and then just pipe everything up on a lift, you know, kind of like this, and just enclose it so you can't see it. And we could potentially do that. Um, so I don't know. I'm not really thrilled with any of the options, but I'll have to think about it. In the meantime, we got to get our assemblers built. We got to see how far over we have to go. So got to do 2 more. And guys, we are getting close to that space elevator up here. And we're going up another floor. So at some point, we're actually going to be probably looking down on the space elevator, which is pretty awesome if you think about it. Alright, I am going to build out this floor, and I'll start building walls, and then I will build out the floor above, and I will bring you back when we're ready to start making assemblers, or thinking about making assemblers. Alright guys, we are back. It's pretty cool looking at the factory floor from up here. That is actually looking pretty awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. So we are just over the storage containers down below. And what I want to do, let's see if I can, I don't know if I have the stuff to make assemblers. I do, I need to get rotors. And I have rotors downstairs. So what I want to do is, I'm thinking about maybe actually lining them up and shooting it this way, and just bringing the materials from the storage containers right down there and shooting it straight up. I know I said I was going to do it the other way, but I think it actually might work. So we're just going to have to try it and see. I'm going to go downstairs and get some rotors. I think I have some spare rotors downstairs. So I'm going to go grab those. And you can see we're now, like, actually a little bit above this area here. So I'm going to be able to build a bridge straight out to there. And then we can go right up to the space elevator. And then the next floor above this is going to be, I think, manufacturing. And this floor may also be foundries in addition to assemblers. I'm not really sure. And then, gosh, I don't know. I think it's only going to be maybe 3 floors and we'll be up at the top, which is pretty awesome. At some point I need to just completely do all the floors. But it just takes so long, and we now have enough concrete and metal to do it, but we didn't have that before, and I had to keep running back to the old base. Now that we have those manufactured here, it's not so much of a problem. Okay, so I think I had rotors in here. Oh yes, I do. I have 100 rotors, so that's perfect. No, I was only trying to hit shift. Okay, 1 more. Alright, so I think we should be good. We have the rotors, we have the reinforced plate, we have the cable, so we can make, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. 3 assemblers. 1 for rods, 1 for reinforced plates, and 1 for modular frames, I guess. I don't know. Let's just see what they need. And see how much that they take. So we can do 120 rods, an insane number of screws, like 480 screws, and 120 plates per minute. So let's see what these bad boys take. And so if we look down here, so we're going to go forward a little bit, like over here. Let's see, is this right? Yep. So this is where we will bring stuff up. So we're going to put the assembler, say, over here. right? And I don't know if we want to put them, I guess we'll put them in the center. 2 forward. And how much room does that leave me on the other side? Oh, there's plenty of room over here. Okay, that's not bad. So this is where the rods are. Right? The plates are over there, so we can put another assembler right here. And of course we got screws. I'm going to do some crisscrossing, I guess. Alright, so if this one's making... So what's the alternate is reinforced plates and screws versus reinforced plates and rods. We have so many screws. It might be worth doing that. But that's going to be taking reinforced plates, so they're going to have to come from somewhere else. So let's see. Let's start with the rotors and the reinforced plates first. So the reinforced plates are going to take 30 plates a minute and 60 screws. So we have to do that either way. So we can pull out, we can easily pull out 60 and 120, right? 60 plates and 120 screws is no problem, which means we can do 2 of these. Alright, so we can do 2 of those. The rods are over here. And rotors take rods and screws. So you have to do screws either way. Okay. So this should be plates, I think. And this should be rotors. And we're going to have to just move some of this around. So this is one of the issues with just bringing it straight up. Is we may have to push this forward to this, like, because we got to bring up like 120 rods, and then if that's rotors, we need 20 a minute. So we need, like, we can only bring in 20 at a time and 100 at a time with the screws. So we can only do, each line can only do 1 of these, whereas each line can do 2 of these. So I've got to bring up 2 lines of screws, a line of rods, and a line of plates. So if we come down here, I have to think about how we're going to do that. Right, the line of plates, no problem, it goes straight up. Line of rods, no problem, but I got to bring up 2 lines of screws. Those guys are going to come up there and then come across, I guess. So my plan is, if I can get this to work, to put a splitter on this. And that's not going to work, so we're going to have to move this somehow. So put a splitter, I guess, here. Right? And this is going to be a Mark I belt. Right? And then that will go up to right there. Right? So we will put a wall right there. And this is going to be a single 60. Right? I hate this thing. It always defaults to going in the other direction. So now I'm going to have to run up there and fix that. So guys, this takes a little bit of finessing. I'm not going to make you watch it all, but you get the idea. And I'll probably not. Let's end the episode here because it's getting really late, and I don't know if I'm going to have time to do all of this. I'm going to work out a little bit of it, and then I'm going to go to bed. And I will bring you back in another episode where we have all of this figured out. Until then, I am Scarpalock, and this is Satisfactory Update 3.